Have you ever laid your head on the pillow after a long day, finally ready to rest, only to be pulled awake again, and again, and again? One trip to the bathroom, then another, and then another. By the time morning comes, it feels like you've run a marathon in the middle of the night. Be honest with yourself. Does that sound like you? Or maybe it sounds like someone you love? Let me confess something to you. I've seen this up close. I've watched an elderly man, someone who used to be so full of energy, struggle just to get through his mornings. Not because of illness, not because of heavy work, but because every single night sleep slipped through his fingers. His body was there in bed, but his bladder was the one in charge. By sunrise, he was exhausted, grumpy, and weaker than the day before. And here's the truth nobody likes to admit. This isn't just part of getting older. No, broken sleep is far more dangerous than most people realize. Science tells us that when you don't sleep deeply, your body doesn't repair itself. Your brain doesn't clean itself. Your immune system doesn't stand guard the way it should. And for seniors, that means every restless night increases the chances of memory decline, weak bones, falls in the dark, and even heart problems. I want you to let that sink in. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired. Poor sleep slowly steals your health. So let me ask you again. How many times do you or someone close to you wake up at night to use the bathroom? Once? Twice? 5 times? More? Type that number in the comments right now, not later, not tomorrow, right now. Because when you do, you'll see you're not alone. You'll see dozens, maybe hundreds of people just like you, struggling with the very same nightly battle. But here's the part that might surprise you. Sometimes relief doesn't come from another pill. Sometimes it doesn't come from another doctor's appointment. Sometimes it comes from something so simple, so ordinary, you'll wonder why nobody ever told you before. Imagine this. Before you go to bed, you take a single nut. That's right, just one. You place it in your mouth, and you chew it slowly for 60 seconds. 1 minute. That's it. And somehow that tiny ritual begins to calm your nerves, relax your body, and gently ease your bladder through the night. It almost sounds too easy, doesn't it? But let me assure you, what you'll discover in this video isn't wishful thinking. It's rooted in the way your body works, the way certain nutrients, natural compounds, and habits can work together to restore what aging tries to take away. And before you dismiss this and say, "It can't be that simple," let me remind you of something. Most of the best remedies in life are simple. Nature has always given us answers. It's just that somewhere along the way we stopped listening. So tonight, stay with me, because here's what's coming. You'll learn why your body wakes up again and again at night, the overlooked triggers that force your bladder awake, the quiet mistakes that actually make things worse, and yes, the exact nut that may help you sleep deeper, longer, and more peacefully than you have in years. But that's not all. We're also going to talk about the small nightly habits, the ones you can start today, that may change everything for you tomorrow. Now let's make this interactive. I want you to do something for me. Think back to last night. How many hours of real, uninterrupted sleep did you get? 4, 5, 6, or less? Write it in the comments below. Let's start a conversation. Because trust me, you're not the only one who's been silently struggling with this. And listen, before we go any deeper, I want to give you a quick tip. If you're serious about fixing this, not just for tonight, but for the long run, make sure you check the link in the description for the Elderly Spring Sleep Wellness Kit. I created it with seniors in mind. It's simple, it's practical, and it's designed to guide you step by step toward calmer nights and brighter mornings. But let me be clear here, because I don't want you to regret this later. If you don't subscribe to Elderly Spring right now, you may miss the very tip, the one tip, that could save your loved one from another restless, dangerous night. And if you walk away without subscribing and things get worse, you may wish you had acted sooner. So please, hit that subscribe button now, and if for some reason you choose not to, at least be honest in the comments. Tell us why, because ignoring this kind of knowledge could weigh on your heart later. All right, Now that you're here with me, let's take the first step together. Let's talk about why these nightly disruptions happen in the first place. Because once you understand the why, the solutions will finally start to make sense. Picture this for a moment. It's late. The world is quiet. Everyone else seems to be asleep. But you, or someone you love, are awake. Again. The reason? A bladder that refuses to let you rest. I want you to imagine Mr. James, a retired history teacher, lying in bed at 2 a.m. He has already been up once tonight. He pulls the blanket over his shoulders, closes his eyes, and prays this time he'll drift off until morning. But just as he feels sleep pulling him in, there it is. That pressure, that urgency, that trip across a dark room that feels longer and harder every single year. And here's what makes it worse. James isn't alone. Millions of seniors around the world wake not once, not twice, but 3, 4, even 5 times every night. And most don't even tell their doctors. They think it's just part of getting old. But the truth is, there's a deeper story here. Let's break it down. As the body ages, the bladder naturally changes. It can't stretch the way it once did. The muscles weaken, so you feel the urge earlier and more often. For men, the prostate grows, squeezing the bladder and sending false signals. For women, muscles that once supported the bladder lose strength after childbirth, menopause, or simply years of life. And then there's the kidneys. In youth, they produce less urine at night, letting you rest. But as you age, that filter flips. Suddenly, more urine is made at night than during the day, forcing you out of bed again and again. Add to that your circadian rhythm, the body's built-in clock. Over time, it shifts. Nights feel shorter. Sleep grows lighter. The body wakes easily, and once awake, it struggles to fall back asleep. Now let me pause and ask you, how many times do you wake up at night? Once? Twice? 3? More? Type your number in the comments right now. You'll see, you're not the only one. Here's the dangerous part. Waking repeatedly isn't just inconvenient, it's risky. Imagine shuffling through a dark hallway half asleep. One wrong step could mean a fall, a broken hip, a hospital visit. And studies show fragmented sleep weakens immunity, worsens memory, and even speeds up health decline. But here's something important. It's not always about how much water you drink at night. That's the biggest misconception. People blame evening tea or a single glass of water, when really, your body itself has changed. So what can you do? Start with simple adjustments. Eat lighter dinners that don't weigh down your system. Prepare the bathroom in advance. Clear the floor. Keep a soft nightlight. Make sure it's safe. Hydrate well during the day, but slow down in the evening. Small steps like these matter. But let me tell you this, real relief doesn't always come from cutting things out. Sometimes it comes from giving your body what it's been missing. And that's where something surprising, something so simple, enters the story. Let me share a true story. There was a woman named Evelyn, 75 years old, widowed, living alone. For years, she dreaded nights. She would wake 5, sometimes 6 times. Each morning she felt weaker, her spirit duller, her smile dimmer. Doctors gave her advice, friends suggested teas. Nothing worked. Then, one evening, her neighbor mentioned something unusual. "Try this," she said, handing Evelyn a small nut. "Chew it slowly before bed, just one." Evelyn laughed at first. A nut? How could that help? But she was desperate, so she tried. That night, she took one nut, placed it in her mouth, and chewed. Slowly, 60 seconds. The next morning, she realized she had only woken twice. By the second week, some nights, she didn't wake at all. For the first time in years, she felt rested, alive. What happened? You see, certain nuts, whether walnut, almond, or pistachio, are rich in compounds the body craves at night. Magnesium, which calms muscles and quiets nerves. Melatonin, a natural sleep hormone. And tryptophan, which turns into serotonin, then melatonin, your body's own sleep signal. And here's the kicker. These nutrients don't force your body the way pills do. They remind it. They restore balance. They whisper, "It's time to rest." Now, most people believe the only answer to sleep problems is medication, but pills often mask symptoms, not causes. Nature offers a gentler way. So here's my advice. Take 1 or 2 nuts before bed. Chew them slowly. Don't rush. Give your body a chance to absorb, to listen, to reset. Evelyn's story isn't rare. Thousands of seniors who've tried this ritual have noticed calmer nights, deeper rest, brighter mornings. Could it work for you or your loved one? There's only one way to find out, but let's not stop there. Because sometimes the problem isn't even your bladder at all. Take Mr. Harris, 68 years old. He swore his bladder was betraying him. He tried every trick in the book. Nothing worked. Then his doctor asked, "What time do you take your blood pressure pill?" "Before bed," Harris replied. "Ah," the doctor said, "that pill is a diuretic. It makes your body flush water. That's why you're up all night." The culprit wasn't his bladder, it was his medication schedule. And Harris isn't alone. Many seniors unknowingly take evening pills that fuel the very problem they're trying to solve. Other hidden triggers? Blood sugar swings. When sugar runs high, the kidneys work overtime to flush it out, through urine. Sleep apnea, those silent pauses in breathing at night, puts stress on the body, pushing it to produce more urine. Stress and anxiety, they trick the brain into sending signals to the bladder that aren't real. So what's the lesson here? Don't guess. Don't assume it's just old age. Talk to your doctor. Ask if medications can be shifted to the morning. Balance your blood sugar with earlier dinners and gentle evening walks. Learn whether sleep apnea could be stealing your rest. Because sometimes the answer isn't in the bladder, it's in the hidden habits of your day. Now, let's step into the bedroom. Be honest, does your room feel like a sanctuary? Or just another space? For many it's cluttered, too warm, too bright. The TV flickers late into the night. But here's the truth. Your environment shapes your sleep. A cool room signals the body to slow down. Darkness tells your brain, it's night. A clutter-free space eases the mind. Rituals matter too. Dimming lights an hour before bed. Taking a warm bath that loosens stiff muscles. Sipping chamomile tea. Stretching gently, breathing slowly, letting the day melt away. These rituals are like whispers to the body. It's safe now. Rest. Because you can chew the right nut, eat the right food, even take the right medicine. But if your bedroom screams, "Stay awake," your body will obey. But even with the perfect environment, sleep won't come if your mind refuses to let go. And that's where the real battle often lies. Think about it. How many times have you laid in bed, your body tired but your mind racing? Bills, family, memories, regrets, worries. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a thought and a threat. It releases stress hormones. Your heart beats faster. Your bladder feels urgent. Suddenly, you're up again. That's why tending to emotional health is just as vital as physical. I remember Leonard, a 78-year-old veteran. His nights were haunted by memories. Sleep seemed impossible. Until one day he tried something simple. He sat on the edge of his bed, closed his eyes, and breathed in for 4 seconds. Then out for 4. Just 5 minutes a night. Slowly his body began to trust. His nights grew calmer. His mornings brighter. Other seniors use journaling, writing down the day's worries before bed so the mind can let them go. Some write gratitude lists, focusing on 3 small blessings each night. These practices aren't just for the young, they're lifelines for anyone. And let me tell you this, if you're still here watching and you haven't subscribed yet, why risk forgetting this tomorrow? Why let another night pass restless when the answer may be right here? Don't wait until it's too late. Subscribe now. Or if you choose not to, at least tell us why in the comments. Because knowledge ignored can become regret later. Finally, let's talk food. What you eat shapes how you sleep. Cherries are rich in melatonin, helping the body prepare for night. Oats stabilize blood sugar. Kiwi, surprisingly, has been proven to support deeper sleep in seniors. But some foods work against you. Caffeine lingers in the body for hours. Even that 3 p.m. cup of coffee can steal your night's rest. Heavy fried meals? They make the stomach labor when it should be resting. Alcohol may knock you out at first, but it rips apart deep sleep later. And here's a debate worth sparking. Is warm milk before bed a friend or a foe? Some swear it soothes them. Others say it unsettles digestion. What's your experience? Share it below. I want to hear your wisdom. And yet, when we circle back, we find something beautifully simple. A nut. Small, humble, nutrient-rich, packed with magnesium, melatonin, tryptophan. Easy to add, easy to keep. A tiny ally with a mighty impact. And if you'd like more guidance, clear routines, practical steps, we've created the Elderly Spring Sleep Wellness Kit. It's in the description. Designed with seniors in mind, simple, gentle, effective. Because better nights aren't a dream, they're a choice. And that choice starts tonight. Have you ever sat in a quiet room late at night, hearing only the faint tick of a clock, and realized someone you love is still awake? You peek into their room, your father, your grandmother, maybe even your spouse, and there they are, tossing, turning, shifting their pillow again and again. You whisper to yourself, why can't they just rest? It's painful to watch, isn't it? Because sleep isn't supposed to be a battle. Yet for so many older adults, it feels like one. And for the people who care about them, you, me, it feels like watching sand slip through an hourglass. Night after night, strength drains away, energy fades, mood darkens, and what should be a time of healing becomes a cycle of exhaustion. I want you to picture this with me. A father, let's call him Mr. Davis. For decades he worked long hours. He woke up early, built a life for his family, never once complaining. But now, at 74, the strong man who once carried his children on his shoulders struggles to carry himself to the bathroom 5 times a night. His hands shake as he leans on the bed frame for balance. He stares into the dark, wide awake, not because he wants to be, but because his body refuses him the peace of rest. Or think of a mother, Mrs. Johnson. She was once the light of every gathering, the one who baked the pies, remembered every birthday, and laughed the loudest at family dinners. But now, her laugh is faint, her spirit dulled, because sleep has abandoned her. She naps in her chair in the middle of the day, not because she's lazy, but because her nights are broken into fragments, 30 minutes here, an hour there. And you look at her, and your heart whispers, she deserves better than this. This is the part we often forget. Poor sleep isn't just an inconvenience. It steals so much more. It steals independence, because tired legs stumble easier in the dark. It steals memory, because the brain cannot repair itself without deep rest. It steals joy, because constant fatigue erodes even the happiest spirit. And perhaps the hardest truth of all, it can shorten the time we have left with the people we love. That's why I need you to hear this. Broken sleep does not have to be accepted as normal. Yes, the body changes with age. Yes, the bladder weakens, the hormones shift, the mind holds on to worry. But restless nights are not a life sentence. They are a signal, a gentle cry from the body saying, please nurture me differently. Please care for me in new ways. And here's where the hope shines through. Every small step you take, every intentional choice becomes an act of love, an act of healing. Think about it. A single nut chewed before bed, its nutrients whispering calm to the nervous system. A light dimmed early in the evening, signaling to the brain, it's time to rest. A 5-minute breathing ritual that quiets the storm of worries in the mind. These are not grand medical miracles. They are simple gestures, quiet choices. And yet, they change everything. You may feel powerless when you watch someone you love struggle, but you are not powerless. You have tools, you have knowledge, and most importantly, you have love. And love, when paired with action, is stronger than any pill, stronger than any diagnosis, stronger than fear itself. I've seen it happen. A son who began preparing chamomile tea for his mother every evening. A daughter who guided her father to write down his thoughts before bed. A wife who reminded her husband to chew those nuts nightly, even when he rolled his eyes at first. These were not doctors, they were family, caregivers, people like you. And because of their small, consistent acts, the ones they loved began to sleep again. They began to heal again. They began to smile again. So let me tell you this, hope is real. Deep, healing, unbroken sleep is not just for the young. It is still possible at 70, at 80, even at 90. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. Imagine waking tomorrow to see your parent stretch their arms, take a deep breath, and smile as they say, "I actually slept through the night." That is not a fantasy. That is the reward of persistence, of patience, of care given with love. And here's the beauty. You don't need to fix everything at once. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars. All it takes is one step tonight, one decision, one gentle act. Because when you stack those acts together, they become something powerful. They become the difference between despair and dignity, between decline and renewal, between restless nights and peaceful mornings. So, as you think about your own journey, or the journey of someone you love, remember this. Sleep is not a luxury. Sleep is a birthright. It is the body's way of restoring, repairing, and recharging. And reclaiming it is not just possible, it's within reach. Because every time you dim the light, every time you prepare the room, every time you encourage them to chew that nut, you are not just helping them sleep. You are saying, "I see you, I love you, and I will not let you fight this battle alone." That, right there, is the greatest medicine of all. So tonight, before you close your eyes, I want you to carry one thing with you. Poor sleep is not just chance, and it is not just age. It has causes, causes we can influence, causes we can address, causes that respond to the right care. Whether it's something as simple as chewing a single nut, adjusting when you sip your last glass of water, dimming the lights an hour earlier, or practicing one gentle stretch before slipping under the covers, these tiny shifts stack up into something powerful. Don't ever underestimate the small things, because nuts, routines, habits, awareness, they are not just words. They are tools. Tools that rebuild rest, tools that protect health, tools that bring back dignity to nights that were once filled with nothing but frustration. Now let me ask you something, and I'd love for you to answer in the comments below. Which of these steps will you try first? Will you start with chewing a nut before bed, just to see how your body responds? Will you adjust your hydration, maybe cutting that last drink of water an hour earlier? Or will you experiment with changing your bedtime routine, stretching, journaling, or maybe dimming your lights sooner? I want to know because your answer might help someone else who's reading, someone who's too shy to speak up, but is looking for guidance. And here's the truth. Sharing what you're trying might just inspire another person to do the same. That's how community works. That's how healing multiplies, through shared stories, small victories, and encouragement. Now, if this video gave you clarity, if it opened your eyes to the fact that restless nights don't have to be permanent, then don't walk away without subscribing to Elderly Spring. Because this channel is more than just information. It's a lifeline. It's a place where you'll always find simple, science-backed wellness guides made for seniors and their families. And let me be honest with you, because sometimes honesty is what we all need to hear. Imagine this. A week from now, you're sitting there, exhausted, searching desperately for help because your father, your mother, or even you can't get through the night without breaking down. You're scrolling, hoping for answers. But if you're not subscribed, you may never find your way back here. You may miss the very tip, the one small solution that could have changed everything. Don't take that risk. Don't gamble with your loved one's well-being or with your own peace of mind. If you truly care about giving yourself, or the people you love, better nights and brighter mornings, then subscribing is not just a click. It's a commitment to knowledge, to action, to care. And if for some reason you decide not to subscribe, at least have the courage to leave a comment explaining why, not to me, but to yourself and to the others who will read it. Because if you walk away without subscribing and the nights stay restless, that choice will weigh heavier than you realize. Here at Elderly Spring, we believe every senior deserves peaceful nights and brighter mornings. We believe that no one, no parent, no grandparent, no caregiver should feel helpless in the face of broken sleep. There is always something we can do. Always. So tonight, hold on to hope, protect it, nurture it, and let's walk this journey together. Stay well, stay hopeful, and I'll see you in the next video.